Today I just wanted to talk a little bit about enclosures, where I get some of mine and how I modify them for our tarantulas. The ones you see in front of me are crystal clear display cases. We get them at Hobby Lobby. You can also find them on Amazon and through a company called Pioneer Plastics if you want to buy a lot of them. They're different sizes, different ones. Like these two here are softball display cases. This one here is for a baseball or a golf ball. These are for Hot Wheels cars. We like them for smaller terrestrial slings. These here are for model cars. And you can either set them up terrestrially, or I'm going to do a little experimenting and try to set a couple up for arboreals. I just wanted to go a little bit. I'm going to show you how I modify these out. Again, this is just how I personally do it and some things that I personally use in our collection. I'm not saying this is the way it has to be done or what you have to do. Again, it's just what we do for our collection. So without any more discussion on that, let's get into it. Alright, now I'm going to do, this is one I did earlier. Like, as you can see, I just do a couple rows of holes on three sides. And I pretty much make this side the front, nothing to interfere with the view there. We put a little label down here to identify the tarantula, and it gives you a less obstructed view, no holes in the way or anything like that. So what I'm going to do now is basically show you how I do that and the method that I use. I have a cordless drill with a 5/64 drill bit in it. Don't want it too big, but not too small as well. You can also use a Dremel, corded drill, anything. I've also seen people use soldering irons, and I have done it a few times, but I personally like the drill. I think you get better holes out of it. I use masking tape, and I'll just put a line around where I'm going to be drilling. This helps keep me in a straight line and keep from scratching the enclosure, because this plastic scratches really easy. You try not to do that. A marker and a ruler is the only other tools I use for this. What I do is I'll make two lines here going across. And you can space them out however you want. I do it at 1 centimeter, but that's just because of the ruler I have to use. It's the easiest way for me to do it right now. Then I'll come back in here and cross mark it to where I can make a grid. Now, some people won't do this. They'll just freehand it, go at it, put the holes wherever. I like mine a little more uniform, but again, that's just a personal preference. And once I have my grid, I'll do that on all three sides here. And once I have the grid done, that's when I'll get my drill. And everywhere that the lines cross, that's where I'll put a hole. You do that on all three sides. Come out like this. I think that gives it plenty of ventilation. Keeps enough moisture in there for your moisture dependent species. You got good cross ventilation there, and it's worked out for us for quite a while now. We have several different tarantulas in setups just like these. We'll do up a little piece of cork bark, water dish, little decoration. I'll go into more of that later on. I'm going to finish this one out, and then I'll go into what I do for the little sling boxes. Alright, here we have the finished box. As you can see, 2 rows of holes on 3 sides. Again, leaves the one side open for an unobstructed view. So, there's the 2 softball ones. Now for the little Hot Wheels boxes, like I said, we use these for smaller terrestrial slings. We have several being used right now in the collections. or in the collection, excuse me. These are the only ones that I don't tape off when I drill or don't do a grid or anything like that. I usually just do a single row of holes on each end and it seems to work out just fine. I switched it to a 1/16 inch drill bit. Smaller holes, of course, to keep in smaller spiders. And then I just come in here and just do a row of holes about a 1/4 inch apart on both ends. And like I said, we've kept several slings and enclosures just like this for a long time. They seem to work out just fine. Got a few actually that we're getting ready to rehouse, hence the softball and baseball enclosures. But you could never have too many sling boxes. So that's how I do the little Hot Wheels ones for our slings. Holes on each side, good cross ventilation. I'll add substrate, a little water dish, some moss, maybe a small piece of cork bark, depending on the tarantula. A lot of the slings tend to rearrange and redecorate the entire enclosure, so I don't put a whole lot in them. But as I've said before, we do put water dishes in every single enclosure we have, because that is a main factor for us. We want to make sure that the tarantulas have water, don't get dehydrated or anything like that. So there's that. I've also thought about setting these up for arboreals, for smaller arboreal slings. I have a few ideas on how to do it. One that I saw from another YouTuber, Tarantulas with Shanti. I'll go ahead and give her a shout out. I've followed her for a while now. I saw she had one of the bigger ones with a piece of plastic put in here that would hold in the substrate to where you can still take the whole lid off and set it up for an arboreal. That's kind of the route I'm going to go with the bigger ones. I'm not sure how it would work with these smaller ones. I've also tried before cutting the lid and hinging them. Run into a problem on cutting it and cracking the plastic. That's been a difficult problem to figure out, but I am still experimenting with it. But for now, we'll go more into what I've been doing. I'll show you a couple more size enclosures that I have and that I'm going to be doing, and we'll continue on from there. Alright, what we have here is a display case for a basketball or soccer ball, something along those lines. I like to use these for our bigger terrestrials and some of our bigger fossorials. Like we have 2 T. albos and my Phonoplema hinsey, and a few of our Ephibophus species are all in enclosures like this. There's some of my favorite ones to use for the bigger enclosures because you got a good visual around all sides. Again, I will tape these off around 3 sides. I try to line the tape up with the bottom of the lid. That way I know anywhere I go through the tape with the drill, I'm not hitting the lid of the enclosure and therefore not damaging it. So I will tape off the 3 sides. It doesn't have to be exactly straight all the way around. I'm not much of a perfectionist, except when I cook. But I will come in here, same thing as with the smaller enclosures, about 1 centimeter apart, except I do 3 lines on the bigger ones. A little more ventilation, got a bigger spider to worry about, need a little more airflow, but it's the same concept. Once I get my 3 lines laid out, I need a better marker. cross mark. Alright, my phone had filled up and stopped recording while I was gridding this out. As you can see, got it gridded out on all three sides, but on the back side here, you see I only do it partially. I don't go all the way across with it, just kind of in the center. That's just, again, a personal choice. It's the way I've done all my enclosures like this. They seem to work very well. They don't get too heavy. You can move them real easy if need be. Like when we pull ours out for feeding, get them on a table in the center of the room to where we can do everything safely and securely. I'm gonna drill this one out, and then we're gonna rehouse some tarantulas into some of these enclosures that I've done during this video, and we'll go further into some details there. Alright, we'll see y'all back there. Alright, welcome back, guys. We're gonna rehouse some tarantulas into the enclosures I was working on earlier, starting with this one here. This is gonna be for the T. alvopolosus we picked up about a week or so ago. We set it up in a temporary enclosure till we got something bigger. We happened to go by Hobby Lobby, they were open, so here we are. I'm going to go with a full setup on this one. In this red tub I have here is my substrate. I use a mix of topsoil, peat moss, and with some vermiculite to help with the water distribution and help retain moisture and everything like that. I have a piece of cork bark here that I'm going to put in. My wife put some flowers on it. We like to decorate our enclosures, make them look a little nicer. She does a really good job, in my opinion. I mean, we're not up there with Steve over Tarantula-tastic enclosures, but we're working on it. Anyway, without any more fuss, let's get this thing set up. I'm going to start with the substrate. Do a couple good scoops in there. When setting up for this particular species, we have two others set up in similar enclosures. I give them about, about 5-6 inches of substrate. They both seem to like to dig down, even though they do tend to stay out on display a lot as well. And our biggest one just molted about a week ago. They don't seem to like loose dirt, so I try to pack it down some. It's a dirty thing to do, so if you don't like getting dirty, I don't know, maybe this ain't the hobby for you. Because I tend to get really dirty when I'm doing this. Starter burrow there. And we got water dish. A little more substrate back here.
There we go. Fill the water. Overflow it a little bit. Alright. Here's the tarantula. Again, you might recognize it from a couple weeks ago from the video titled Happy Wife, Happy Life. So, and I did say this was a temporary enclosure for it because it's a little small in my opinion. Yeah, kick. Go ahead. Come on. Yep, kick. Alright. I'm just going to pop this right over here. As you see, this cup has various holes in it. And that's so I can get in here with the paintbrush and kind of gently coax the tarantula out of the cup and into the enclosure. Now, couldn't ask for it to go any smoother than that. I think this enclosure here is a more appropriate size for a tarantula of this size, and I think it'll be a lot happier in it, and I like the way it looks a lot better. So, there you have it, T. albopilosus. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Like I said, I just wanted to go over a few things with enclosures, some ideas, a few tips, do a couple rehousings, show off a few other tarantulas in the collection. Behind me here you see we got a new shelf for some of our bigger ones. It's kitty approved. Anyway, I want to give another shout out to Tarantulas with Shanti and Steve over at Tarantula-tastic Enclosures. Two great channels. If you don't follow them already, please go check them out. Other than that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good jazz. Take care, be safe. Skull.